Hi, and welcome. My name is Ted Lapas, and I'm a professor at the School of Business, Stevens Institute of Technology. In my research, I design algorithms for the analysis of large-scale datasets with a particular focus on two types of data. The first type is text, including web pages, blog posts, tweets, and news articles. The second type is networks, like those based on collaboration, friendship, endorsement, and propagation. One of the key applications of my work is in the domain of reputation. That's a complex concept that can be relevant to credibility, robustness, utility, satisfaction, and other concepts. Reputation is especially meaningful on the web, where users have access to vast amounts of information on virtually any topic. The problem is therefore not to find information on your topic of interest. The problem is to find a way to identify which of the many sources out there we can actually trust. So we need information to be available, to be abundant, but we need it to be credible, to be true. Unfortunately, that is not always the case. We live in the era of fake news, and very broadly, I would say we have three types of fake news. The first type includes fake news that is malicious and has a very specific target. They are written with a purpose. They are designed. They are written by someone who wants to propagate false information about something or about someone else. This could be fake negative information, or it could be fake positive information. In either case, it is fake. It is designed to manipulate users and to harm or boost the reputation of a specific target. The second type of fake news includes news that are again designed, but not to harm or boost someone. There is no specific target. They are simply designed to be attractive, to be sensational, to attract as many users as possible, to get them to click. Clickbait, as it is often called. The people who write these stories don't really care about the truth. They don't even care about the people that they are accusing or praising in their story. All they care about is attention. Attention, clicks, web traffic, and ultimately money, usually through ads. The third type includes fake news that was not actually designed to be fake. The person who writes the story or the tweet or the Facebook post believes the news to actually be true. This could be because they were not thorough enough. They didn't do the research before they actually shared the story, say online. This happens a lot with online media because their focus nowadays is often on speed, not on quality. So being first is more important than being right. The dogma is just get the story out there. There's no time to be thorough. There is no time to check the facts first. It looks true. It looks okay. Let's get it out there to the users before the competition does. In other cases, people share fake news that they believe to be true simply because they want it to be true. It's a type of confirmation bias. If a story paints a picture that I like, if it says bad things about the person that I hate, or if it says good things about the person that I love, that affects me. That makes it way more likely for me to believe the story, to trust it, to send it to others. In any case, even if there's no bad intent, fake news because of carelessness or bias is still fake news. It can still be very misleading and very harmful. Now, with the coronavirus pandemic, we have seen a burst in all three types of fake news. For the first type, where there's a specific target, we see politicians and governments blaming each other on a daily basis. And we see the media that favors one side of any COVID-based debate propagate fake news about the other side, about their rivals. For the second type, the clickbait type, everyone knows that there is a huge interest right now in anything that has to do with the virus. It is the single topic that dominates the news cycle. It dominates our lives. So it's a unique opportunity for people who want to gain attention. Everyone is now at home, on the computer, looking for info desperately. It is the perfect clickbait setting. People are ready. So all you need is a sensational, eye-catching title, and people will click. Titles like new vaccine, or amazing new drug, or tragedy, 5,000 deaths, or truth about the virus finally revealed. All these things will definitely get attention. The third type, of course, every website, every Twitter account is now out there trying to break the news first. People get careless, they're in a hurry, they make mistakes. And of course, already everyone has chosen sides, so confirmation bias is abundant. People believe what they want to believe. And then once they believe it, they share it online with their friends or their followers, their readers. So now that we know about all these different types of fake news, and we also know that major events like a pandemic will only make them worse, how can we avoid them? How can we cut through the noise? How can we cut through the fake content and find credible information sources? Now, if you look online, you will find many stories dedicated to exactly this topic, dedicated to ways to identify fake news. Some of these stories are good. They have good ideas. Some are naive and impractical, and others are written by people who actually have a history of writing and sharing fake news themselves. So what I will do in this video is try to give you just 3 very simple practical tips that I personally use to filter out fake news and identify real, credible sources. So, the first tip is based on a very simple 3-strike policy. Suppose that you click on a story written by John Doe. You read a tweet written, posted by John Doe. You watch a show on TV or online hosted by John Doe. And through this experience, John gives you a piece of information, something. And later on, you realize that information was actually false. It was fake. Now, it doesn't matter if John was malicious or just careless. It doesn't matter. That's strike 1. Once John gets to strike 3, then he goes on the blacklist. It means he simply cannot be trusted as a source of information. He's done. You stop reading his content completely. And most importantly, you stop sharing his content with others. Now, if you want to be a bit less strict than I tend to be in these cases, you can give people a second chance after, say, a year or 2. Maybe allow them 1 more strike. Now, when I discuss this 3-strike policy with my friends, they always ask me 2 things. The first one is, how can I even know if the information that I got from John Doe is actually fake or not? How do I know? Now, that's a valid question. And in many cases, it's obvious. The answer is obvious. So if the story talks about a new vaccine for the coronavirus, then that would be an amazing breakthrough if it's true. In fact, if it is true, everyone will be talking about it all over the planet very quickly, very soon. However, if the next day the virus is still a problem and people are still looking for a vaccine, then John's story was simply not true. Another example, if the story says that you can kill the virus by drinking hot water mixed with lemon juice, same thing. Think about it. Billions of people on the planet, billions, have access to water and lemons. So if this is true, the virus will go away very quickly and very easily. But if people are still dying the next day, then it was probably a fake story, just fake news. Now, in other cases, it might not be that easy to know if something is fake or not, if it's true or not. However, thankfully, there are many websites out there dedicated to checking the facts. Now, I don't want to use this video to advertise websites. I'm not going to mention any specific sites, but they are very easy to find, and many of them are actually very popular, very famous. And I will say that most major stories are scrutinized on these websites very quickly on a daily basis. So some news might take longer to verify, others might be easier to verify. In any case, it might take you minutes, hours, or days to verify that John's story was fake. But once you do, John gets a strike, and he gets 1 step closer to being blacklisted. Now, the second question that always comes up when I mention the 3-strike policy to my friends is, how can I keep track of the strikes of every single person out there? Am I supposed to remember every person on my blacklist? Now, that was a valid question, I would say, 5 or 10 years ago. Thankfully, today, we have software tools and browser extensions that make this simple bookkeeping task of remembering strikes and blacklists very easy. It's only a couple of clicks to check if an author is on the blacklist, on your blacklist. It's a couple of more clicks if you want to add another strike to someone or blacklist them. So a few clicks is a very, very small price to pay for eliminating fake news and all their effects. Another relevant point to make here is that most users tend to spend most of their time on a small cluster of online platforms, which means that it won't really take you that long to locate and blacklist bad sources. You're probably visiting them often, every day. You just don't bother to check the name of the specific author that wrote the story you just read or the tweet you just read. And in fact, speaking of online platforms, the three-strike policy can apply to them as well. As soon as I blacklist the third contributor from the same platform, then the entire platform is on the blacklist as well. I don't have to check every single author who contributes to the platform. I don't have to do that. If they have multiple blacklisted authors, then their standards are clearly not as high as mine. Clearly not high enough. And at the same time, if I am a credible contributor, a credible author, I wouldn't want to share a space with multiple verified propagators of fake news. If I don't mind that, then that clearly says something about my own credibility as well. So, moving on to the second tip. Define what you're looking for before you start looking for it. So before you even start worrying about whether or not a story is fake or not, before you even start looking at things online, it is important to ask yourself one simple question. Am I looking for A, information, or B, entertainment? If the answer is B, entertainment, then none of this really matters. No need to worry about fake news. No need to keep track of strikes or create blacklists or anything like that. Just go out there and enjoy the web, like going to the movies. Now, movies are often exaggerated, unrealistic, frivolous. They're made to entertain you, not to inform you. However, if you're looking for information, it's a whole different story. You have to be careful, vigilant, strict. You have to keep people accountable, and you have to remember their track record, their history of being credible or not. Now, it's not always easy to separate information from entertainment. The two nowadays are mixed together everywhere you look. Sometimes you watch the news and they have music playing in the background. Happy music for good news, ominous, dark music when they're describing something scary or negative, like a pandemic. So, isn't the virus with thousands of deaths scary enough? Do we really need the ominous music in the background? We do, because that's entertainment wrapped around the actual news. So how can we distinguish a source of pure information from an enriched source that is focused on other things like entertainment? It is a hard question, which brings me to my third and last tip. In a single statement, the tip is the following. Beware of opinions unless they come from established experts. Now, information sources have to be objective. There is no room for bias or personal opinions. If a story includes personal opinions, then it goes beyond information into other domains, such as entertainment, propaganda, or interpretation. On the other hand, if the article simply lists and describes the facts, then it's information. It might still be false information, of course, or maybe some of the relevant facts were omitted on purpose, but at least there is no subjective noise. I'll give you an example. Suppose that I say 1,000 coronavirus patients died today. That's information. It might be true or false, but there is no opinion here. It's just information. Now, if I say 1,000 patients died today, and that's way more than expected. Now, the information is still in there, but it is now enriched with an opinion. Expected by whom? And what exactly qualifies as way more than expected? Now, if I say 1,000 patients died today, and that's more than the WHO expected for this month, that's information. It could still be false. Maybe the WHO didn't have an estimate. Maybe the estimate was less than 1,000, more than 1,000. So it could still be false or true, but there's no opinion. It's just information. Finally, if I say 1,000 coronavirus patients died today, the government could have prevented this. Now, that's an opinion. I'm not trying to inform you or give you the facts. I'm trying to tell you how I feel about the facts and possibly tell you how you should feel about the facts too. Now, just to be very clear here, opinions can still be very useful. For example, the opinions of an expert can help us understand information that is somehow too complex for us. But it is very, very important to confirm that the person we are reading or listening to is an actual, unbiased, established expert. If not, and his opinions are simply entertainment or interpretation. Nothing more, nothing less. You don't need casual bloggers or random online users to explain to you how the coronavirus passes from one person to another. You don't need them to explain to you how it will affect the economy of your country long term. You can still read their content, read their opinions if you enjoy their style or their humor, or if you know that the author tends to agree with you and your own personal beliefs, and therefore you're looking for something to read for fun, to satisfy your personal need for confirmation bias. But if you're actually looking for information, look for explanations by a great epidemiologist or an established economist. The internet has made that possible. There is great information from top experts out there. Very easy to find and completely free to access. So in this setting, why would you settle for second or third-hand information by non-experts? Why not just cut through the noise and go straight to the domain experts in this field? So just to quickly summarize the 3 tips. Tip 1, 3-strike policy. If you try to fool me 3 times, you're out. You're on the blacklist. If a platform employs or hosts 3 people who try to fool me 3 times each, then the entire platform is out, on the blacklist. Tip 2, define what you're looking for before you start looking for it. Looking for entertainment is one thing. Looking for information is another. Tip 3, beware of opinions unless they come from true experts. I may need someone to help me understand if something is too complex. I don't need someone to do my thinking for me or to tell me how I should feel about the facts. And that's it. 3 very simple tips. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you now feel a little bit more confident about our ability to filter out fake news. Stay safe, and definitely feel free to reach out and connect with me if you have any questions or ideas that you want to discuss. Thank you very much.